the composition of the board of directors. At the apex of the organogram or structure diagram of the organization, we are going to find a man or a woman called or titled the chairman of the board. Usually it should be non-executive, but it could be executive too, but it is best practices that the chairman should be non-executive director. Also, the board of directors could comprise of a deputy chairman. An organization could have and may not. Then we'll be talking of the executive officer, the CEO popularly called. Then we'll be talking about other executive directors. And when we are talking about the executive, it simply means they are there at work on daily basis. Executives are always on the ground and around. Then part of the composition of the board is non-executive directors. So a board comprises of the chairman, the deputy chairman, the executive officer or chief executive officer. Then we have executive directors, we have non-executive directors. And for balancing, it is good that these people have different backgrounds, exposure, experience, independence, knowledge of varieties when it comes to business management and the business world. The directors should be able to allocate also sufficient time to their duty, especially the non-executive directors. They must ensure that they will be able, out of their busy schedule, allot good amount of time to their role in any board of director in which they are members. The board of directors should not be too big. It is in best practices that the board of directors should not be too big. Reason being that so that they will be able to manage resources and as much as is good when so many people are together, but it can slow down decision making. So in order for this not to happen or too often in occurrence, it's good that we stay within the zone of best practices. Usually the board should start with like 5 people, then should not be more than 15 people. Minimum of 5 membership to the maximum of 15 persons. Best practices. The UK Corporate Governance Code states that the board should not be so large to be unwieldy. So, best practices, we should not be too large in the composition of the board. Let us go to Singapore. In Singapore, the board should examine its size. It's part of the code that the board should examine its size with a view of determining the impact of the number of people upon the effectiveness of their decision making. Decide on what it consider an appropriate size for the board. So we'll see that generally best practices is that the board should not be too large.